Hey guys, welcome back to Drive It Out. My name is Adam and we are at the 2020 KC International Auto Show, and I have behind me a very cool sports car. This is the Honda Civic Type R. Now check this out, let's talk about the styling a little bit. Come in a little closer and we'll start with the front. You know this is not your average Civic. It looks very aggressive up here. They've done so many cool things. I love obviously the big red Honda badge here. You got your Type R logo, and I love the carbon fiber trim piece around the bottom. The front end of these is cool. I even like the hood scoop on here. It gives it that really aggressive look. But you got your fog lights down here. You got LED lighting. It's very, very cool. Now, if you come around down here, down the side, look at the styling on this car. They have gone all out. So you got lots of jagged edges and cuts and lines, but it all goes together really well with how they've done the car as a whole. The black wheels with the red line, the red brake calipers, and the red logo in the middle just looks really, really cool. They've obviously carried over the red into the interior as well, as you'll see here in a minute. But if you come here along the side, I like this car in white. The gloss black trim on here is a nice touch, kind of goes along with the trim piece on the bottom. It's kind of added some aero stuff down there. It's very cool. If you come along here to the back, I like this line. What they did here, you'll notice they had this line that came from the front and kind of fades away right here, but then you add this second line here, this line that's gonna come back here along the top of the shoulder of the car here in the back, and it kind of comes around to the back and goes into the taillight right here, which is very cool, gives this car a very unique look. And if you come around back here, let me show you, this isn't the old Civic that you were used to, right? From back in the day. It has more than a trunk, it has a hatch, right? So look at all this room. There's so much room in there, and you can fold down those back seats and you will have even more room. But this looks very, very cool. Now, if you're cool with all the lines and all the style and all the design on here, these taillights are very cool. I actually like it. Now, some people don't, the big wing, maybe that's a little too much for you. I dig it. You know what? It goes with the rest of the car. It flows well. It reminds people that this is a serious, serious machine, and very cool and unique. Check it out. 3 outlets for the exhaust down there with that really awesome carbon fiber diffuser down there. It's just so, so cool. Now keep coming along around the side here and we'll check out the inside of this car. But you have a rear windshield wiper. That's not something you see all the time nowadays. And there is quite a bit of room in here that you would expect from a Civic. So if you're looking for a hot car that is really fast and fun to drive, but you also need 4 doors and you need to sit people in the back, or maybe you got kids you need to put in the back with car seats, this is a great option. Let's get here in the driver's seat and see what it is all about. Now, the way that they blended the red with the black in here is just super, super cool. They've tastefully brought the red in here and touched it all over the interior of the car. You've got this trim piece here with a little bit of carbon fiber here that started on the door, comes over here to the vents, and it ends up going all the way across the dash, and it looks really, really cool. If you come in here inside with me a little bit closer, you will see that you have this really cool competition style steering wheel, right? It has a really sporty feel, really cool grip up here at 9.3 and 10.2, and you got a little bit of a flat bottom right here. It's gonna allow you room to do footwork. Why do you need good footwork? That's right, this is a manual transmission, 6-speed manual transmission. Love it, so awesome. It is getting harder and harder to find a manual transmission these days, and that is the way that this car comes. And I tell you what, the pedal placement on this car is set up for great heel toe if you want to work on that footwork, if you want to have some fun drives, find some twisty roads, or if you want to spend some time at the track. And I will tell you, nothing feels the same as a Honda manual transmission. The shifts are so smooth, the clutch is going to be so light. Honda does a great, great manual transmission. They have for many, many years, and the 6-speed in this car is no exception. So now, let me tell you what you get. You're gonna have over 300 horsepower, 306 horsepower in this car. And you're like, you know what, but it's a front-wheel drive car. You know what, you're right, it is. But let me tell you, the way that this car drives, you will almost forget about it in certain situations. Front-wheel drive with this much power, you used to think maybe that's a recipe for disaster, lots of torque steer, things like that, but they've done so much to this car to make it perform in a really, really solid way, even though you're throwing all that power to the front drive wheels. So let me tell you, if you think about other front-wheel drive cars that are considered performance cars, like think about the Focus ST. They don't offer it in the United States anymore. Think about the Fiesta ST. They don't offer it in the United States anymore. And it's funny, you see brands that kind of go through these times where they really nail it on the enthusiast cars. And for Ford, that was a few years back, and you could get an enthusiast car in every segment. Fiesta ST, Focus ST, Mustang, and you go all the way up to the Ford GT, and you have the hotter Mustangs kind of in between the standard Mustang GT and the Ford GT, and GT350, GT500. Some of those are starting to disappear. Now, in the 90s, Honda and other Japanese brands were really, really doing well with enthusiast cars. And now, this car makes you think of that a little bit. It reminds you of the 90s a little bit when Honda was doing such a good job with the enthusiast cars. And then it reminds me, I love the red. It kind of reminds me of being in an S2000. I know it's a completely different car, completely different platform, but it provides that same feeling of like, all right, I'm in something that's not just a Honda, it's a little special, extra special, very sporty. And I really, really do like this Civic Type R. So if you're gonna have 4 doors, because you need the room, but you still want something sporty, really you need to check this out. $36,000 is where this car starts at. This one's right between 36 and 37 grand, and you get a lot. 306 horsepower, 0 to 60 time just over 5 seconds. That is a lot of car, with a lot of room for people and stuff for that money. You really got to consider this. So 2020 Honda Civic Type R. Thank you so much for joining me for this review. I really like this car. Here at Drive It Out, we are driving enthusiasts. We like cars that are all about the driving experience. And I'll remind you one last time, manual transmission. If you like enthusiast cars like this, they're starting to go away. There's less and less all the time offered here in the United States. The way we keep these around here in the United States is if we have the means, we buy them new. That's what keeps manufacturers making enthusiast cars like this, especially ones with the manual transmission, 3 pedals, is if you buy these new. So thank you again for joining me for this review. This was one I really wanted to do because I really do like this car. Please hit the subscribe button right here below the video, and I will see you next time on Drive It Out.